All right, welcome back, everybody. This has been a kind of a rough day for most, especially algo traders in a lot of different markets, particularly crude oil. I just want to go through the system as I talked about it yesterday, which was ironic because look at this here. Yesterday, if you review the video that I put out, we had a nice breakout on an uptick in volume. So the volume was positive change. My indicator, my volume indicator, was also positive change. So we have down here we have on balance volume, and I'm sorry for the writing, but it helps to illustrate where we're at with the charts. So as far as an advanced trading system, it gives you, the trader, the power to turn on or turn off or follow trades that you would normally want to take. For example, is the market's moving up, and why didn't it go long here? Well, it went long because by the time it broke out of the high, either A, the risk was too great for the outside of the trade, so it didn't take the trade. But here's a situation where you have what's called a low close doji. It took the trade, it did what it's supposed to do, and look what it did. It did not get out at its intended profit target. It trailed the stop. Why? Because we have that's the function that we changed for Algo 16. Let me define that again so that you understand, or at least first I'll share with you, make sure we're on the same page. So that's the new version of 16 with the latest upgrade. Now, for anyone that buys this product, we've come out with upgrades, and it started with the original version, which is here, and now this is the 16th version because we keep adding or have added functions in there, which is to help basically myself develop my own strategies, but also that it's something that people can utilize for back testing purposes for themselves and to help everyone develop their own type of trading methods. So first and foremost, this particular model trades from 645 to 235. And then as we go down the list, what I wanted to share with you is that position size has been set at position calc method number 3, which means the position size is 2 contracts. So we scroll on down the way and we can see this is the main function right here, scale out ratio. It's set to 0. If I change that to 1 and I hit OK and close, all right, you will notice that it does what you intend it to do. In other words, I want to get in. It identifies where my stop is. That's the orange line. And if that's the profit target, the blue line, what did it do? It got out. On that particular trade, it worked perfectly. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. So here's a situation where more times than not, you get into a buy system or a buy signal. It has a risk, and there's your intended profit target on the trade. And guess what? It doesn't happen. What do? We have a trailing stop function that kicks into gear and which defends whatever profit we have. Then it went short, and you could see that same thing. It defended. It had max bars. It didn't go anywhere after a prescribed period of time. It got out of the trade with a small loser. Here's our equity performance for the day, as you can see. And then more importantly here, a buy signal ensues, nothing happens, and then all of a sudden it jumps right back into a buy signal, and that's the current position it's holding right now. And you can see the difference between the profit, closed end and open trade profit. So it just as I was speaking, it just hit its max bar exit and triggered out of the trade. So there it is, it's closed out. What I was bringing to your attention is the difference between the two different formatted strategies and signals and how to work the methodology. If you have, for example, a scale out ratio set at 1, it's going to still have a max bar function. It's still going to have a trailing stop function, but it won't get out at the intended profit. It'll trail the stop. So let's change this to 0 and hit OK and hit close. So it still got out on the max bars, but here's the situation. Over time, this method where it trails the stop does a better job because it has better profitability. Here's a situation where, again, the trade that I was defining earlier this morning, that it went short the market, and there's your risk. It went short. This orange bar starts a trailing function, and then all of a sudden it gets out, and you can see max bar, it got out. This, if it didn't max bar out, in other words, if the time expiration of how many bars it takes for peak performance, if that didn't kick in, it more than likely would have stopped out because why? the market broke out above resistance. So a trailing stop feature would have kicked in on that trade. That's one of the main advantages of using the Person Algo Optimizer. It is a phenomenal product for those that are looking for not just signals, but to improve their odds of holding period, profit targets, and trailing stop features. Now, let's look at another market that we put together and have shared with you in the past. This is kind of amazing. It's Apple. So let's look at that chart and those signals right now. All right, so Apple has given some really dynamic signals before. Here is a high close doji. And how do we know? Well, it's a PPS buy, but it also is a high close doji because it's that orange candle. We color code these. A maroon candle right here says it's a low close doji, and it signals LCD, so it gets. And here's a situation where you can see that it got the entry. Here's the initial stop, which is that orange line, or red line, excuse me. Orange, as the trade starts to make a profit, it moves the stop down to the orange line, and then here's the profit target. And we don't have the setting take profits, we have the setting trail stops. So this gets out, and as you can see, it got out on a reversal buy signal. So it'll do several things. It'll get you out on a trailing stop function or a reversal signal. So if you get finally a sell signal and then you get a reversal buy signal, it's doing exactly what it should. So from an automated system, you want to see just like it did here. And I think when we were back in on our seminar at C's Cruise that we did, we generated a long position in Apple, and I don't know if we were able to update that. But here's the thing. It did exit the trade, and it is now flat. It went short, and unfortunately, it trailed the stop, and it just got clipped before today's lower open in the market. So as you can see, that was a little added better performance for the trade. It would have been nice if it just didn't have that trail stop feature, but that's how trades go. In any event, I hope you enjoyed the outlook on what we've been doing with the Algo Optimizer and the new upgrade that, again, if you like the original version, you get to keep the original version, but every time we've come up with upgrades, we've made sure that everyone has access and proper education on what those new upgrades are about. So I think this is going to be just a phenomenal product as we see more and more volatility ahead in the marketplace, not just for stock trading, but for futures traders and alike, whether it's swing or day trades. Anyway, with that said, thank you for watching.